Hello, everyone. Welcome to La Dolce Vita Mindset. Hello, Chris. Thank you for joining me. I've muted everyone on the call, so if you have any questions, if you would write them in the Q&A box or the chat box at the bottom, that would be lovely. So let's get started here. The call is being recorded, so there will be a replay. So I want to thank you for joining me. I think most people will be watching the replay, but if you are here live, thank you for coming on live. This is the first presentation we're doing in this group, and I wanted to start with mindset because I think it's the most important of all of the lessons that we can learn, because our thoughts control everything. Our thoughts control our feelings. They make us make judgments about ourselves. So any goal that we want to have in life is controlled by our thoughts. So let me just give people a second to join us if they want to while I scroll through my notes here. I know some of you are readers of my blog. Some of you are subscribed to my newsletter. Some people are in my Mostly Mediterranean group. We're all coming together in this new group called La Dolce Vita. And but then some of you said you really didn't want to have a Facebook Live, or some people wanted to join who don't want to be on Facebook at all. So I totally understand that. So now I'm wondering whether or not I should have this new Facebook group or if I should just encourage everyone to join my newsletter so you know whenever I'm going to have a live event. So I think I'll keep it for a while so people get used to where they can find out news about these events. But I want to try to have these events maybe once a month, to where I come on and I give you some coaching, some teaching. You can ask me questions. We'll do different topics. We can do Mediterranean diet. We can do lifestyle. We can do business. We can do all kinds of things. But I wanted to start with mindset because I think, like I said, I think that controls everything. So let me take a sip of water and then we can get started. And if you can't join me live, you can watch the replay. And you can ask questions later where I post this. I'll post this in the Facebook group. I'll also probably put this on my website someplace where people who don't want to go on Facebook can access it. And then you can write comments there if you're joining later, and I will check back and then I'll answer them at that point. So how this is going to work is I'm going to talk for maybe 10, 15 minutes here. So if you have any questions, I will address them at the end. You can type your questions in the chat box and I will get to them all at the end. So let me bring up my slides. So what we're talking about today is mindset. And I wanted to talk about mindset because, like I said, it controls everything in our lives. Our thoughts control everything. They're full of emotions. They rarely are objective. Our thoughts can lead us to success or they can keep us from ever trying. And that goes for any of our goals, no matter what your goal is. And the good news is that your thoughts can be improved and made more positive. So I have a quote here. It's by Brian Tracy, who's a motivational speaker, and he's an author in self-development. And it goes like this: there are no limits on what you can achieve with your life, except the limits you accept in your own mind. So think about it. What are your goals? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be healthier? Maybe you want to feel more energetic. Maybe you want to make more money or be successful in business or take your business to the next level, or start a side hustle, or upgrade your style, or elevate yourself in society, or find a significant other. It doesn't matter what your goal is. Your thoughts are controlling how you pursue them. So here are some negative thoughts that we tell ourselves. These are completely unuseful thoughts, but these are the kind of things we say to ourselves all the time. I'm never going to lose weight. It's too hard. I'm not good with money. I can't have my own business. I don't look good in dresses. I don't look good in a bathing suit. No one will ever want to date me. I've even heard Madonna say, oh my God, I have these Italian thighs. So even Madonna thinks that she is fat. So this happens to everyone, right? So do these thoughts feel good when you say them? Of course they don't, right? You would never say these things to a friend, but we say them to ourselves all the time. We defeat ourselves before we ever even get started. But these are just thoughts. So our thoughts control everything we do. Our thoughts lead to emotions and judgments that we put on ourselves. Thoughts are things, and they can be negative or positive. We'd all be in a much better place if we learned to control our thoughts, right? So you have to remember that they are just thoughts. They're not facts. They are judgments that we cooked up in our brains about what is going on around us. So I want to go through a few examples with you. So maybe you want to lose weight. I know that a lot of people are from my Mediterranean diet group, so this is a big one for everyone, myself included. You've tried many diets over the years. You've lost a little weight. You've gained it back. We've all been there, right? So now you have the thought in your head that you'll just never lose weight. So why bother trying? Because you have lots of evidence from all these previous diets that you've been on, and you just no longer try. So your thoughts are defeating you right there. So how do you get out of that mindset? Because you can't just make the jump from I'll never lose weight to, oh, I look slim and beautiful in this bathing suit, right? You have to gradually change your thought process a little at a time and collect evidence along the way. So this is how you work on mindset. So the first thing you can do, so when you're telling yourself, I'll never lose weight, is to just adjust it a little bit and just say, I keep telling myself that I'll never lose weight. And it feels a little bit better already, doesn't it? I just keep telling myself that. So you're already admitting that maybe this is a thought, maybe this is something that you're putting on yourself. So it makes you a little bit more aware of what is going on in your brain. It helps you start to let go a little bit of that negative thought because it leaves you open to possibilities. So you start to think that maybe it's just your thoughts and you start focusing on possibilities. And then your next thought from, I just keep thinking I'll never lose weight, can move on to, I look forward to the day when I stop thinking that I'll never lose weight. So it's a little bit more positive. It's just like another baby step up that rung of the ladder. Okay, this process is called the thought ladder. We're going to get into that in a minute. So that feels even better, and it's getting your brain ready to change your mind. So you went from I'll never lose weight to I just keep thinking I'll never lose weight to I'm looking forward to the day when I stop thinking that I'll never lose weight. So now this may take a little while to get to that point. It's not going to happen immediately. So you have to kind of hang out in each of these thoughts for as long as it takes you to make that adjustment. So it could take you a week, it could take you a day, it could take you a month to get up the next rung of that ladder. Each time is a little bit of progress. And as you're making this little bit of progress, you're collecting evidence in your mind and you get a little bit closer to the fact that you can do this. Okay. Then you bring in something like an objective thought, like people lose weight, right? You take yourself out of the equation and you say, people lose weight. They lose weight all the time. This has nothing to do with you, so you're not putting any judgments on yourself. There's just evidence out there that people lose weight all the time. Totally neutral statement. So it opens you up to the facts. People lose weight all the time, and you start to convince yourself that if it's possible for people to lose weight, maybe it's possible for you to lose weight too. So you're getting a little bit closer. So each step that you take makes you feel a little bit better until you can finally get to maybe your big overall goal thought is I'm losing weight and it's easy. So you obviously cannot jump from I'll never lose weight to I'm losing weight and it's easy without going through those steps in between. And you have to take as long as you need to on those steps in between. But there are little tools that you can use along the way to make you feel a little bit better. So you can do this with any thought, right? So let me give you another example. So a lot of people, they want to be in business or they want to have a side hustle but they just think I'll never be rich because they've had no evidence of it in their lives. They made a certain amount of money. They want to make more, but they just can't get there in their minds, right? Because if you've never made that much money, you can't force yourself to believe that you will one day be rich. So I'll never be rich can become, I just keep thinking I'll never be rich. Feels a little bit better, right? I just keep thinking that. I'm tired of thinking that I'll never be rich. So you're fed up with it and you're going to change your mind, right? And then it's possible that I could be rich. That's the next rung. There are rich people doing what I'm doing. So there's your evidence that doesn't have anything to do with you. People are doing the same thing and they're getting rich every day. I know I have the potential to be rich, could be your end goal. So I'll give you another one for people who are looking for a significant other. All the good men are taken. How many times have you heard your friends say that? All the good men are taken. Well, I just keep thinking that all the good men are taken. I'm tired of thinking that all the good men are taken. It's possible there are still some good men out there. Feels better, right? People meet and fall in love all the time. There are good men out there, and I'm looking forward to meeting them. So each of those statements was a rung up this ladder. The process is called the thought ladder. I learned it from my life coach, and a lot of people teach this thinking online. So if you just Google thought ladder, you'll find different examples of this for all kinds of subjects. But it's a good tool to use because it's easy and you can wrap your brain around it. And you can do it with any thought. That's the great part about it. So it really works if you really try and allow yourself the amount of time you need to go through each step. You can't just jump to the end because your mind can't make the jump. It won't believe it. You can't go from I'm never going to be rich to I'm rich. Woohoo. Right? You have to take the steps in between. With each step, you're collecting evidence for this new belief, and it can change your life. So at the bottom of the ladder, you put your current thought, the negative one that you're thinking, the one that is holding you back. So whatever it is, you put that at the bottom. Then the goal thought that you want, you put at the very top of the ladder. And then you start filling in the rungs in between that can get you to each step. Yeah, it would be nice if you could jump from the bottom to the top, right? But we don't have any evidence there. So when we fill it in with baby steps, you start by putting a thought that recognizes it, like I keep thinking this. Then one that kind of pulls you away from that a little, like I'm tired of thinking like this. Then a hopeful thought of like, I'm looking forward to when I stop thinking this. Total neutral thought, other people do this, why can't I? Till you get to the end. So I hope that makes sense to you, because your current results are created from your past thoughts. But if you want to change your life, you need to change your thinking. You need to have new thoughts. So your current thoughts, your current results created from your past thoughts. But when you start going up the rungs of these ladders, you're creating new thoughts. And that is how you get into your future. So think about what you are struggling with. There's usually a negative belief behind it, no matter what it is. I have another quote for you. This one is by Henry Ford. You've probably heard this one. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. So think about that. Whether you think you can or you think you can, you're right. Or can't, you're right. So everything is controlled by our thoughts. So decide how you are going to manage your mind when these negative thoughts creep up when you're alone. So maybe you need to take a deep breath, or do a little meditation, or say some mantras, or listen to a positive song that changes your mood, or call a friend who thinks you're great, or give yourself a hug, whatever works for you to get you to the next rung of that ladder. Or if you start slipping back on the rungs, come up with little tools for yourself. Like just take a moment, be like, no, that's just a thought. The thought is controlling the way I'm feeling right now. Let's look for evidence. And then you can move on with your mindset. That's how you change your mindset. So in conclusion, reach for better thoughts every day. Okay, well, that is it for today. I hope you find this thought ladder helpful. It was kind of mind-blowing when I first heard it myself, but it's a way to get out of your negative thinking, because if you really think about it, anything that is holding you back is because you think that it's holding you back in your mind. But there are so many possibilities out there. You need to change your mind a little at a time until you get to a place that's comfortable, and then it can work for you. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little chat, and I will see you next time. And I'll have the replay up very soon. Thank you. Bye.